could introduce yourself.
I could.
I mean, you
Wouldn't
already
be the
have
first time.
Miss Boye.
So I've been writing a long time, like most of us, and suddenly it occurred to me one time that maybe I should like write them all down properly and get them all together and put them together, and then I froze and never did anything like that. What's interesting about doing that is you get to see what you wrote a long time ago, you know, in a way that you probably wouldn't if it was just in a journal. And I am fascinated to see recurring themes and also appalled by some of the recurring themes that are still in my life. And then within all that, I spent a year doing a poem a day, you know, so there were a lot of really short haikus in that year. And I also then went on this thing where I started writing not just about me. And so I found a printout of a version of that collection that I did of like 400 poems or something, and there might not be 400 because I never actually read them again, and so there might be like lots of versions of the same poem. But anyway, so these are some that I picked out. I won't do all these, but just okay. Oh, that's a different poem. Oh, anyway. Okay, we'll do this one. I walked from Albuquerque to Taos, carrying water on my back. I walked through mesa and mountain to bring you the love they swore we shouldn't find. I fought with fathers and uncles to bring you to my home. I loved your baby as much as you. I would walk the desert to the ocean to keep you, but the gods had other plans. Now the Hogan is empty, and my heart as dry as an old cigar. My brains, give me the word. The Texas, the cactuses in New Mexico. Saguaro. Thank you. After an expected freeze. Now the Hogan is empty, and my heart is as dry as an old saguaro after an expected freeze. They came for the baby, brothers, aunts, police, no rights, long nights alone with the pictures and the videos. They came for you. I long to melt into your smile, to burrow into your sweet stories. What kind of almighty is there that makes a world like this? A world where love of any kind isn't recognized, where twin spirits are less than one. No ancestors watch over this wreckage. I'm abandoned for sure. I crawl into my sweat and wait for Coyote to leave town. I drink the tea and sing the prayers and open the door of my dreams to the dance of your soul. Hoping beyond hope you'll find me. I walked from Taos to Albuquerque for you, and I will walk across the veil if you call. I was being a starving poet in a little cabin in the mountains in New Mexico at that time. Emotional. If I stop and you can guess the word, please say it, because it is actually my brain doing its thing, like not connecting. So, it's a person who studies weather. Thank you. The emotional meteorologist. She sleeps alone in the cold bed under snow clouds from a distant universe. Frozen tundra separate her and there, afraid of frostbite. She keeps her toes safely in her blanketed shack, a frigid anger. A snowflake becomes a glacier without love. Flannel sheets freeze into razors, and a draft becomes a gale force wind. Sleep promises a break in the weather, warm dreams and sweet hot chocolate kisses. Tomorrow's weather is a crapshoot. Impossible to predict. The first order of the day, balanced on eggshells, is long-distance reading of the thermostat. She has trained since childhood to be an emotional meteorologist. Perhaps it's time to learn some new skills, risk a new career. She sleeps alone in the cold bed under snow clouds from a distant universe, frozen tundra separate, her and there. Afraid of frostbite, she keeps her toes safely in her blanketed shack of frigid anger. She needed a new now. She knows stuck and fears jumping, sit and breathe. Oh, this is a different poem. So that was the end. All right, hang on. No, I'll give you the last line. Wrapped safely in frigid anger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to make it lively before we end,
Okay.
so that it's an easier transition than that. Okay. Oh, also, I want to say, if you don't know what Art Spark is, please sign up here, and we will you can be on our mailing list. And both of our organizations are funded by people who like to know that we're actually doing this and not just filling in forms and then staying home. And so these forms are here. If you could fill one of these out, if you're willing, if you haven't filled one out before for being here, it really helps us prove that we aren't stealing the money. So that's great. It's going to be up on the table back there. So most of my poems get written down, but this one never did because I was driving through London on a motorbike. And I wrote it when I was like 18, and it's still here. Okay, that's a long time. Pretty, pretty Polly was a rich man's folly. He kept her like a dolly in an apartment block. He gives her lots of presses, his money never misses, to keep her ticking over like a cuckoo clock. But pretty, pretty Polly loves pretty, pretty Dolly, who lives above them both in the apartment block. She gives her hugs and kisses and lies with her and wishes that they could be together and it would never stop. Now, pretty, pretty Polly and pretty, pretty Dolly live as loving sisters in the apartment block. They haven't got much money, so they live on rice and honey, and they fight the revolution with a culture shock.